dakwah. Dakwah merupakan satu daripada fokus aktiviti utama Aksin, dan dengan dakwah kita dapat menyampaikan Islam itu sebagai rahmatan lil alamin kepada semua.
Well, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome everyone to the program tonight, a very exclusive program brought to you by Axin, which is My Journey to Islam. And Alhamdulillah, today on the 21st June and year 2024, we are very happy to be back here again with our guest who we had him like 2 years ago, and we want to welcome him back again. Yeah. So before that, I'm Elaine Aisha, the moderator for tonight, and I would like to welcome everyone on Facebook, on Exin Facebook. We'd like to invite you to click like and to click share because this is a very small way you can join us to share our program tonight and it's part of the Dakwah activity as well. All right, so thank you for those of you who are with us and share out the program. Okay, so first of all, I would like to welcome Tuan Haji IR Muhammad Jamaluddin, CEO of Axin, who is also the very producer of this program, My Journey to Islam. Welcome,
Thank
Haji
you.
Jamal.
Thank you, Lid.
Good to see you. Right. And I would like to move next to briefly introduce our guest tonight. Yeah, okay. Some of you might have seen the previous episode, but for those of you who are actually new or seeing it for the first time, so today we have our guest speaker, TS Dr. Jaysuman Pusppanathan, okay, who is actually now based in Johor Bahru, and then as a senior lecturer at UTM, right? And his specialization, this is something very something I'm not very familiar. It's something very interesting. We want to talk to him later, yeah. So Dr. Jaysuman's specialty is in tomography for biomedical and process industry drone technology. What a mouthful. All right. So we want to talk to him later, like what is this tomography, biomedical, drone technology. Drone maybe I know lah, but the whole title is a combination of many words that it's something very new to me. Right. So I believe um doctor, tonight we want to welcome you back here. We would like to maybe invite you. It's going to be a very casual chit chat. We'll talk about your journey, how you actually became a Muslim. But before we go into that, can I invite you to maybe briefly tell us about your background? Yeah, over
Yeah,
to you.
sure. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Elaine. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank you, Axin, yeah, Brother Haji Engineer Muhammad Jamaluddin Shamsuddin, CEO, Axin, and also the producer of this great, wonderful, this, what do you call this, this event, yeah, and also this, what do you call this, what do you call this, activity as well, right? You have this been like quite very consistent, and I always receive the poster of this event. I never miss it out, and it's online. It is so convenient for many people to actually join in from whoever you are, from everywhere in the world. So my name is Jaysuman. My name is Jaysuman Pusppanathan. People usually call me Brother Jay. Yeah, it's easy to remember, Jay Johor. Yeah, so I'm from Johor, from Malaysia. It's a state in Malaysia. Yeah. And yep, so I'm a mix actually. I'm a mix of a Chinese Indian. Yeah, people call me Chindian. Yeah, Chindian. It's not an official race actually in Malaysia. It's just that happened that Chinese mix Indian, you turn out to be sort of like my look, become like teh tarik kurang manis, right? Yeah. So yeah, and I already accepted Islam like 13, 14 years ago, Alhamdulillah. So thank you for having me today. And this is me here, your brother, a little bit sharing on my journey to Islam.
Right, mashallah. So, alhamdulillah, 13 years.
Yeah. Yep, 13,
years,
1, 3. Yeah.
Let me make a guess. Oh, not on online asking for your age, but I just curious, like 13 years. So 13 years ago, tell us how did you get in touch? As in, like, how do you get to know about Islam? Like recalling back 13 years ago.
Yeah, 13 years. So imagine, people said when you accepted Islam, it's like a newborn. You become a new Muslim. So in a way, I'm 13 years old. Is it? So since you're gonna ask the age, right? I'm actually 40 something already this year, right? Alhamdulillah. So 13 years ago, I officially accepted Islam. Yep. So to date, I never regret. Alhamdulillah, my life was a blessing. With full of friends like you all. I have all these wonderful friends around, brothers and sisters, and also the beautiful faith that I have to practice in my daily life, and until inshallah, until akhirat. Yep. So 13 years is the official, I would say, official life as a Muslim. But of course, to make that decision 13 years ago is another span of time, to study, to go through some what do you call this, the journey. Yeah, the journey to finally make the decision to take up the Shahada. That's another decision, which took me around more than 10 years again, just to come to make that decision. So yeah, then finally I took the Shahada 13 years ago, Alhamdulillah.
It's a long time. I mean, from the sound of it, you didn't just embrace Islam, as in accepted Islam just like that. From the sound of it, it took you some time. So I was just wondering, what was your perception towards Islam before you being a non-Muslim back then?
Yeah. So as a non-Malay, as a non-Muslim, 13 years ago, 13 years ago, so before I officially accepted Islam, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions, especially about life in general. Yeah, life in general. My brought up is more like a mix of culture, Chinese, Indian, and we live in Malaysia. We have a lot of Malay friends surrounding us. So it's actually a kind of blessing, I would say, that today, right? We in Malaysia, we have all these multicultural background, friends, neighbors, society and community. Yeah. So that kind of life I had. And since small, I am actually from Chinese school. Yeah. So my kindergarten, my secondary, my primary school is from Chinese school. Even in the secondary school, I still pick up Mandarin language, although we are in a Sekolah Kebangsaan, the national schools, right? Yeah. So this kind of all-rounded. So I asked myself a question. I am so what people call pelik, awkward, yeah, because I'm the mix of Chinese Indian. So this kind of species is rarely found. Many years ago, I think these days are getting quite common to have
You
this
confuse
mixed
people.
marriage. Yeah, in a way. Yeah. So talking about the perception, yeah, there are a lot of perception that I had for Islam, for example, about what is Islam, what is religion in general, I would say. What is religion in general? Who is my God? Why are people worshiping God? Why are people so into religion? Why is my mom and dad so different practice religiously, right? So we as a kid, we actually follow both sides. So we respect our parents, we go both sides, we go to church, we go to temple, we go to many religious what they call these places, places to practice, to make friends. Yeah, so that kind of life. So that's where when it comes to the perception, I talk about what I had earlier is like Islam is Malay, Malay is Islam. So Hindu is Indian, Indian is Hindu. Buddhist is Chinese, Chinese is Buddhist. You know, that kind of in the programming language we call it the assignment. Yeah.
Stereotype, kind of like already classified.
Yeah, I think that is quite common, right? That is quite common. I think anyone will have generally that kind of what they call this perception in a way. Yeah. So until to a point when something happens in my life, until something happened in my life, that one of when my mom died, so I start to ask more serious question into life. I asked to ask myself about where is my mom at this moment when she died? Where is she? What's happening to her right now at this moment when the moment she took her last breath, right? So the next question follow up after that is that one day I am going to face the same situation as well. So that's where I think that point, I think I start to become more matured in asking questions about life towards myself. Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? Why am I being selected to be human, to be Chindian? I didn't ask any of this, right? Yeah. So do you, Elaine, right? So it's like everything is being like planned. So who is this? What we call as God planned all this for us. Yeah. So that's where it started the journey as well. From the perception, started the journey into Islam, Elaine.
Right. So that is like the point where you start thinking.
Start thinking seriously, yes.
Yeah. I think just to share my thought as well, being a revert, maybe all these things didn't come to our mind. That of course with Allah's permission and dengan kuasa Allah can we say that you know the thought actually came to us. But before it happened to me also, like why I started thinking about Islam, it's everything is like norm. Yeah, it just follow like since young, just follow whatever the senior or elderly asks us to do, just follow. But until at one point when something happened, and also at certain age, we start having exposure, and also exposure maybe towards friends around us or the environment around us, then that's where we start thinking. Yeah, I spoke to many reverts. Somehow, many have this same experience as well, mashallah. So at that point, who did you then or where did you go to ask or get help? Or why I'm asking this, because I do come across many new Muslims and also non-Muslim who, you know, they have that questions. They're like, hey, yeah, they're thinking now, but they don't know where.
Who should I ask,
Like,
right? That kind
who
of
should I
question.
ask and who should I so-called trust? And yeah, nak pergi jumpa ustaz ke? Nak jumpa someone yang maybe revert like us ke? So what was your experience?
Yeah, if I would say 20 years back, because I said the journey, right? 13 years ago that's the official point. But way before that is the journey to seek what I say as the shahada, the journey towards taking the shahada, right? Excuse
Yeah, because I think nowadays we
Mm.
have social media, and then
Mhm.
you Google search ke apa TikTok ke apa ke, we search, you easily put a hashtag reverts, converts,
Yeah.
dulu kan.
Yeah, when we talk about 10, 20 years ago, no, Facebook and all this social media is not that active as yeah, like what we had today, right? So today the information is just like at the end of our fingertip. Right?
Correct.
But back to those days, coming back to your question, Sister Elaine, who should I ask? Who should I trust? Or who can I trust? Yeah, not much information. Hashtag doesn't exist those days. Yeah. So of course, as a normal what do you call this person, right? The first person that I will go through is of course my closest friend, the friends surrounding me, right? With all the perception that I had for the Muslims, especially the Malays, right? So I'm not so comfortable with some people over there, but of course there are some very very good Malay Muslims, Alhamdulillah. So it's a journey that I would say I have a lot of friends from different races, different multicultural background, right? I have a lot of Chinese, Indian, Malay, and even other races of friends. So I think it's a blessing that I get to make all these people to learn from them, their culture, their belief. So coming back to Islam, that's where I meet my friend who can also speak Mandarin. Yeah, so a Malay who can speak Mandarin. That's where we become so close to each other. And I observe his life. Yeah, I learned Islam through his life. That I would say that, yeah, instead of having the perception, I think to be fair to myself, I need to ask the people who are in that religion instead of asking people who are outside the ring, right? So to be fair, to ask more about Islam. And that's where I start to ask him about Islam. What is Islam? Not directly that kind of question. Yo, bro, what is Islam? I didn't ask like that. It's not like that. It's like I see him pray, right? I see him pray. So, oh, so this is how Muslim pray. I see him fasting. Yeah. So I say, oh, this is how Muslim fast the whole day in the month of Ramadan. I see him go to mosque. So I say, oh, so this is the mosque. Although we don't have the chance, that's another perception. Elaine, I'm sure you have similar experience as well. As a non-Muslim, we have the perception that non-Muslim cannot enter the mosque, which is
Correct.
actually not accurate. Yeah. But then back those days, that's what I had. Yeah. So yeah, coming back to your question, I ask people closest to me, and finally, I get to meet a lot of great reverts as well. Yeah, so great reverts as well from Axin actually also. Many people from the Axin also, and the friends, mutual friends of Axin as well. Yeah, so I get to meet all these great people to know more about studies in Islam, and yeah, here I am today.
That's good, mashallah. So what I gathered also, like when you mention, like you see them pray, you see how they behave.
Mm.
So all those are actually a way of da'wah. Yeah,
Mhm.
just because maybe not all of us are good at explaining what Islam
Yeah.
is, or
Mhm.
in a maybe it would say more knowledgeable way. But the way we act, the way we behave, the way we interact with everyone, Muslim or non-Muslim,
Mhm.
even small gesture like during Raya, we give away, maybe we just offer food to our neighbors.
Yeah,
Small things like
that's very
that,
true.
I feel it's a way of dakwah. And sometimes they don't feel it. They say, oh, itu orang Melayu sangat bagus lah, sangat baik. Selalu offer makanan. Like, so things like that is a small gesture where
Mm.
every Muslim can do. Doesn't mean
Yeah.
that have to like just talk about, like macam lecturer ke apa, talk about Islam and all that kan.
Yeah, just be kind. Just be kind to everyone. Yeah. Mm.
Yeah. So then I also heard you were mentioning about misunderstanding. So that touches me as well because like for myself, yeah, a lot of misunderstanding
Mm-hmm.
towards
Mm-hmm.
Islam.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to take this opportunity maybe for Dr. J for you to maybe share one or two you think like the most seen misunderstanding towards
Mm-hmm.
Islam that you've came across, or even yourself, that today you want to take this opportunity to maybe highlight. And
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, Cecilia. I'm actually also interested to know your story as well, actually. You are also one of the reward. You must have some amazing stories, yeah? Some of your turning point as well. But then coming back to your question, yes. Talking about misunderstanding, back then, I don't think I misunderstood. That is what I understood from what I see, right? Right. So what we see is what we understood, what you call this, interpret what we understood from people's doing, from our surrounding, from our observation, yeah, which we may misunderstood it without realizing it. Yeah, so I think this happens to most people, right? Okay. So coming back to this, one of the most what you call this misunderstood thing that I realized during my time is especially the name. Yeah, the name. When people convert or revert to Islam, then we tend to change their name to Bin or Binti Abdullah. Yeah. Yeah, I understand these days it's getting more common. This thing is like we all now, because of the media, the social media, we get to know that this is actually not really the teachings of Islam. But back then, this is something that we understood as a teaching of Islam. When you convert, you change your name, right? So that's the
That's
first thing,
yeah,
which
I think
actually
that's
caused.
important. Sorry, I think sorry to interrupt. I just got a bit like yeah, because I think back then a lot of parents also felt like they were forgotten or they were neglected because like oh you masuk Islam, you peluk Islam, and then now you are the Abdullah son or daughter, and you
Yeah,
even like forget or you betray your dad or your family name. So yeah, I think that is one big misunderstanding.
yeah. I was about to mention that that is actually a big consequence out of this misunderstanding. Yeah, maybe to some of us. Actually, I would also like to highlight misunderstanding not only happen among the non-Muslims, also happen among the Muslims towards Islam as well.
Born
Yeah, so
Muslim.
from another, right, yeah, from another angle, we look into this because this is not to say whose fault is it, but it's just the way how we upbringing and the culture we have in Malaysia, right? So the common society, they think that when people convert to Islam, we should bin or binti him to Abdullah, yeah. But as a consequence, the person who wants to revert to Islam, his family will feel like has like what you said just now, right? Imagine if a father, a father, a father to a son, and that son converted to Islam and changed the father's name.
Mm.
Oh, today I'm a father, I will be very pissed off, right? You know, right? I'll be very pissed off. I'll be very disappointed. I will be very sad. Yeah, you imagine if you have a son, right? You have a son and your son changed. You give a beautiful name to your son and your son changed the name to Bin Abdullah. I would ask, who is Abdullah? When did Abdullah become your father? No, 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 I'm your father. You know what I
True,
mean,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, it's a very good point. Sometimes the born Muslim they don't see this part. They say, why your father so angry? Lah, tak ada apa pun, tak ada apa pun. But then, yeah, I explained the way you just explained. Then they were like, okay, but betul juga lah. Maybe, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, so in a way we have to educate both sides, the Muslims and the non-Muslims. Yeah. Yeah.
acceptance.
Yeah, so that is one of the misunderstood thing about Islam, what I say. But I think that is actually quite big, but still we have bigger things to talk about. Yeah, bigger misunderstanding about, for example, after convert, you become Malay, especially that is what we have the perception in Malaysia, right? You start to speak Malay, you start to dress up like a Malay, right? Which I think Malay culture is beautiful in this way, right? Just that what I'm saying is that as a non-Malay, suddenly you want to blend in into something that is not a part of your upbringing, like me myself, right? Although I look like Malay, this is not in my control. Yeah,
The community lah, like you
the
have to go into like the
community.
Malay community in terms of food, in terms of language, kan? Yeah.
Yes, yes. So people will see some changes in that. Yeah, so instead of saying becoming Malay, I would say it's no, after convert or a revert or whatever is it. Okay, yeah. So when you accepted Islam, it's not you become Malay, you become a Muslim.
Yep.
So let's come back to the essence of Islam. Yeah, what is Islam? Who are Muslim? Muslim is one who submit themselves to Allah, who obey Allah to perform the salat, to worship only God, Allah. So they are called Muslims regardless what race they are, regardless whoever they are. So coming back to that essence, I believe regardless what background we are, we can come back to the same self, to the same line of understanding towards the essence of Islam. Yeah, so that is what one thing about another perception, perception that turned out to be misunderstanding, which is becoming Malay. yeah. Let me add one more before we go into the next conversation or what.
Interesting.
Is that one of the most thing that I think misunderstood widely by most people, including maybe some of the Muslims, is that Islam is a difficult religion. Yeah. Eventually, all this question about conversion become Malay, conversion become bin or binti Abdullah, and then all this, you compile it up, it comes to one question: is Islam is so difficult. It is so rigid. So it comes back to that question. So that's the perception I had as well earlier, right? That which makes me to sort of like put a barrier between me, myself, and Islam. Yeah. So in a way, for example, Islam is very difficult. Why? You have to pray 5 times a day. Islam is very difficult. Why? Because you have to wear hijab. Elaine, you have a lot of explanation to do, I'm sure, right? To your family when you accepted Islam earlier, right? Your dress code, your appearance, your
Food.
your food, yes, makan, right? You eat halal food and all these things. Yeah, these are all the compiled question into one single question. Islam is difficult, but of course, there are good reasons behind this, which I will leave to you first before you go to the next slide.
Right. And I wanted to add on one more thing. They say sangat susah and very difficult and very strict, even on the money, the assets side, especially maybe among the Chinese, right? Chinese can always talk about mau kaya, dunia. So I think among a lot of Chinese reverts who also have one quite a big misunderstanding by themselves and also from their family is that once you become a Muslim, and then you will lose all your assets, your money and all that, because one day when you pass away, your money and all that will go to the orang Islam punya, like go to the Malay. Sometimes they don't even make it clear as in, is it like Malay or Islam, just that you masuk Islam, nanti you punya duit, you punya harta, everything will
Wealth
become
management, right?
on the wealth management. That's actually my day-to-day work that I do a lot of clarifications and also storytelling and all this lah on this topic, which really a lot of people misunderstand. They think that money, house, everything will go to Baitumal, and then husband can marry for, and then all the assets will go to the husband, and then the husband will marry another 3, and then that's why the parents say, oh no, I'm not going to give you anything to their daughters if their daughter want to become a Muslim, because then everything they give to their daughter will become Islam punya. So yeah, I just want to add on, this is another so-called misunderstanding among the Chinese community, the non-Muslim. So in fact, I agree with you. Myself also, even until I understand why we have to cover up, okay, why we cannot eat certain food. So I think people maybe see from the surface and judge and comment and listen to a lot of comments without understanding the reason behind it. So I always encourage saying that learn. Whoever, all the new Muslims, brothers, sisters, or those who are actually in searching for the answer, come to the classes and learn, so that at least we give ourselves a chance to learn and to understand, not just like jump to conclusion.
Agree.
Okay, so I don't know, like for yourself, I mean, we talk about accepting from perception until you accepted Islam, and then the misunderstanding, and also how you've actually came through the whole journey of 13 years and all that. And I just wanted to know, like with your profession now, right? You're the senior lecturer in UTM, specializing in this. I wanted to ask you just now, this tomography or this. Were you a Muslim already then?
When I'm in UTM as a staff over here, yes.
Yeah.
So my journey was when I was doing my masters and my PhD during that time. So that's where I officially converted.
Is there anything, two things I wanted to ask you on behalf of our audience? Maybe you can tell us more about what you do. And then second part, it's like what you do, has it anything linkage to the religion or you want to highlight?
Yeah, thanks, Elaine. Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be boring. Yeah, this is more like a more of my professional career, what I do in the university. Yeah, most of the time, because UTM is one of the research university and ranking in the world. So what we do is most of the time we do a lot of research besides teaching and learning, we do a lot of research. And out of the research, we have those outputs to actually contribute back to the society, to the community, to the nation. Yeah. So like you said just now, your kind introduction, my field is tomography. Tomography, I know that's a very jargon term, but let's put it this way. If you think about MRI machine, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, so if an MRI machine, a huge machine, then you can scan something. When there's a human inside, you get some images, you get some sort like images to actually diagnose, to see some condition of the human, right? So the same idea, I actually shrink down the whole idea into small wearable for human, also for oil and gas to measure all these contents, contents. For example, like hands, right? How are we going to see what's happening in this cross section in between? What's happening to the muscle over here? So we can put sort of like a sensor, like MRI. Think about like a small MRI clamping over here, and we're going to get the image out of this part to see what's happening in this cross section. So that's what I'm doing, a part of it. So yeah, that sounds very fundamental. But besides that, I also enjoy doing drone sports, especially. Yeah, so into the drone sports. And that's where I think I've been heavily involved in this recently with the community, which I'm really enjoying it. Yeah.
You don't mind allow me to just share some
Okay. You
pictures
have
that
some
I found
pictures.
on your some pictures I found on your Facebook. You don't mind? Yeah, yeah, a lot of drone
Yeah.
this
That looks like
like
me here.
yeah, maybe you can explain more with these photos.
Yes, so that's me, Jaysuman, holding a drone on my hand, and there's a goggle on my neck. Yeah, that's the drone spots that I'm heavily involved together with my student, Danish. Yeah, a very young, talented guy. So this is one of the drone spots that we have with the community to actually empower the community, the young talents to come together in a racing competition. So imagine you have drone with race into sports. And there is a career path for that, even for the young people, especially. Actually, it's regardless of age, actually. Yeah. So this GQ, yeah, this is one of the event we had recently, the global qualifier. Those are my good friends around there, yeah, from different organization working on together to actually empower the community. Yeah. So this is actually a competition that whoever qualified at certain level, they can actually represent Malaysia, the country, to the international level. Yeah, it just happened that I got ranking of the previous picture on 313. That's my ranking. On that day, I'm not sure what's my ranking now. Maybe someone already surpassed me. But then I enjoy it. The moment, you go down to the ground, you meet the people, you fly together with them. So being a Muslim, part of a Muslim's duty is actually to educate the people. Like you said just now, like the education. So don't see that sports or this kind of thing is not Islamic. No, we have to come back to the term Islamic as well. Everything is submission to God, transferring knowledge to the community, helping people. This is a part of our duty as a Muslim in hablu minan nas, our responsibility and duty towards human. We have our responsibility to our God as well. Yeah, so that's about this picture. Yeah, these are the young talent people from different IPT universities, from different organizations. We had this at IKBN recently. Yeah, I just recall this. Those are the nice t-shirt. We had sponsors as well. Yeah, now you see that. You see, these people most of them are not engineering background. Yeah, most of them are not engineering background, but they get to build the drones. They get to come together. They assist and help each other to build the drones. Yeah. So this is because of the interest they have in this field that actually sparks them to initiate and to learn about it. Yep, that's about this picture. Yeah, we have also a female pilot. She is one of the best in Malaysia. You don't be surprised, yeah? She is actually one of the best in Malaysia, and she's representing Malaysia very soon. Yeah. And she is just still in the secondary school. Yeah, so she actually defeated a lot of experienced pilot outside there, including me.
MashaAllah, MashaAllah. Right. So these are some of the photos when I browsed through, I just thought like, wow, interesting. And it's you're very active in this sports. And but just quite attracted me when you talk about education. Yeah. So especially yourself is actually in the education industry and being a senior lecturer. So you actually teach these subjects as in
It's a
what we
part
mentioned,
of it. It's a
part
part
of
of
it,
the curriculum, extra
curriculum,
curriculum, I would say.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm.
like back to if we relate education back to Islam, right? So one of the very basic, as in we share and then we teach, and sangat dituntut lah, as in it's
Mm.
required in the religion, right?
Mm.
So I'm sure you also believe that macam me, we become a Muslim for a reason.
Yeah.
I myself always thought like, kenapa? Like, why not? Because I mix around you with a lot of non-Muslims friends and all that. Sometimes I say, why me? Why
Mm.
not some of them? And some of them belum lagi, not yet. So I think maybe you get how I feel like, oh, we are the so-called chosen one, and many
Yeah.
of our revert friends who are
Mm.
watching this program, who are with us tonight, you may
Mhm.
think also like, hey, why me? So
Mm.
somehow then why me? Then it make me think like, so there must be a reason. Okay, the reason I can speak Mandarin, so I can dakwah
Mhm.
in Mandarin. Uh, certain qualities in me that I can actually pass on my knowledge about Islam uh, in the qualities that Allah has given me. Yeah. So do you see yourself like maybe in some way being a mix like Chindian ke, teh tarik ke, whatever you call it, like your contribution, like once you are chosen and then you
Yeah.
are now doing your
You
part
feel
as
responsible, right, to do
yeah,
something. Yeah. I'm sure you
yeah,
have that kind of feeling as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So, so that, yeah, thank you, Ellen. I get your point. Yeah, that's a beautiful question. Why me, right? And in this, I don't have a straight answer, but I would turn the table and say, why not you?
mm,
You are just so special in your way that Allah made you that way, and you have something to give. You have a lot to give. So that is why it is you, and it's your time to give back to the society. So this is what I think to myself. Yeah. After me going through all those hardship, all those journey that most people may not have the opportunity to go through the hardship, such as being insulted, being scolded, being beaten, being whatever you say, dipulaukan and so on, all those hardships that we've been through, right? And because of those hardship, ease come after that. Yeah. So you have easiness come after the hardship. And now today we stand strong over here, having this conversation over online, and the whole world, dear friends, dear viewers, listeners outside there are actually, hopefully they are benefiting from this session. So coming back to that, when I talk about empowering and education, when you want to develop something, it always starts with education, right? Even if we want to have this session today, we need to do some study. We need to do some study about what are we going to talk, what are we going to say, right? So as simple as that, anything you do, it is actually education. Even your food, you have to know how to choose. You need some knowledge to choose your food, right? And you are specialized in wealth management, Sister Eileen. Wealth management involves a lot of knowledge as well. And that's so the basic thing about now, how does it relate to Islam? The moment you accepted Islam, I think the first thing you need to do is seek knowledge.
yes.
The first thing. But let me put it this way. Knowledge without action is nothing.
Mm,
So you have the knowledge, but there's no action, then what's the point of having this knowledge? It's not put into use. So it's not going to benefit to you, I mean myself, right? And also to other people. Or in another way, it may cause harm to ourselves if we have the bad knowledge. I mean, the knowledge that could actually bring more harm to ourselves and the surrounding. So that is why I think Islam is such a beautiful thing, that it has all its guidelines and guidance, so-called, that I misunderstood it as a difficult religion. In a way, it's actually a full of guidance religion.
MashaAllah.
Yeah.
That is a very good point. Yeah. I think especially in your field of work, in terms of like empowering, passing on knowledge. It's really a very big platform for you
It
to
is.
pass on
Yeah.
the knowledge, but at the same time we say like empower um more students, more of your followers, your students, and then passing on knowledge as in dunya and also akhirat.
Yeah.
So yeah, so before you wrap up, just maybe after 13 years throughout your journey, yeah, is there anything like maybe the next phase, um be a, yeah, all of us want to become a better Muslim, right? So if there's any thoughts, any plans, any pipelines that, the next, how do you see the next 13 years, how you want
Yeah. Wow.
to, anything you want to do, or to empower more Muslims, more people in the field of work that you are in. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good question, and a very good way of putting it, Elaine. And it's a tough one. 13 years from now, what do I want to do? Wow. Okay.
Because just now I asked 13 years ago, okay? So they're like,
Yeah.
oh, 13 years later. Like for
Yeah.
me, yeah, I mean, at younger years back, I didn't really think about that. And then
Mm,
recent years, we keep thinking like, how many 10 years, or even how many.
mm,
Now I see a lot every day. I open Facebook, right? I see somehow they'll have some friends of friends pass away. Then I
yeah.
start thinking like,
Mm,
how many more 5 years? I can't even think
mm,
like how many more 10 years. Chinese we say, oh, 还有几个10年. How many 10 years more that Allah will give me? So then start thinking like, okay, what I want to do short term goal,
mm,
and inshallah kalau sempat lah, kalau if Allah bagi chance kan, 10 years,
mm.
what will I be? I'm not sure if this question, sorry, just throw.
Yeah, yeah, that's a very beautiful question and a very important question for us to reflect together, to all listeners outside there as well. I think that's a very beautiful put way. How many 10 years can we have? Right. 我们有几个10年我们会有这个机
哎
会
呀
啊，是吗？
very good, your
The,
Mandarin.
yeah, Chindian, right. So this is, yeah, coming back to the question. Let's put it this way, dear listeners, dear friends, outside brothers and sisters. Take out a picture 20 years ago. Take out a picture of yourself 10 years ago. And look those two pictures into right now, the present 10, 20 years after that. Now, what I observe now, I'm in the 4 series of age review. Every 10 years is a big change in terms of age, in terms of maturity, in terms of knowledge, in terms of all the experience you gain in that very short 10 years. 10 years sounds very long, but now after you go through those 10 years, you think like, oh, this 10 years I should have do more. I could have do more. So what I think is this, these 10 years, being a Muslim, I could have do more as a Muslim. As a Muslim to another Muslim, I could have do better. So one thing, what I would say I regret, if I would say I would regret that I didn't do it properly. I didn't do it to the best that I can when I think that I actually can do better. So this is, I think most of us will have this kind of sort of in a way of regret after 10 years and after every 10 years. Right.
When we are in it, in that time, we don't realize, because just like
Yes.
flowing with it, right? When we look back, mashallah, 10 years ago, that was just like you say, like 10 years things change, right? For ladies, for women, I think that's even more changes. In when you look at
Yeah.
our look, right? 10 years, you look very different.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So just not to regret or whatever lah, not say regret lah, but 10
Mhm.
years later. So we better start doing it
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. So coming that, this actually reminds me of the Quran. When I first engaged with the Quran, it is so beautiful. It is so meaningful as well. With all this misunderstanding I have in my life earlier, with all those hardship that I've been through just to accept Islam, right? And then the best friend I had, I would say, of course, beside all my friends, my surrounding friends, I would say the best friend I have is Allah. When I raise up my hand, when I'm in hardship, who else can I ask help? Who else can I ask for advice? Who else can I ask for guidance? Yeah, except Allah. Yeah, cukuplah aku ada Allah, right? Cukup untuk aku ada Allah. Enough for me to have Allah. Then He will actually make ease for the rest of it. So coming back to the Quran, talking about all these 10 years, how many 10 years we have everything, right? A very simple, yet very meaningful surah, I'm sure most of us, we know is A'udzubillahi minasyaitonirrajim, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Wal 'asr, innal insana lafi khusr, illa alladhina amanu wa amilus solihat, wa tawasaw bil haqq, wa tawasaw bis sabr. So in the sake of time, right? In the time, men are actually in loss. Men here doesn't mean gender, it means mankind are in loss. Except those who actually worship, perform their duties, their ibadah, their amal towards Allah, yeah, with patience, yeah, with patience towards truth and with patience. So they are the successful people. So here coming back talking about time, when you look at time passed by every 10 years, you start to feel this surah is so true. Yeah. And when you talk about At-Takasur, yeah, Surah At-Takasur, that talking about you will definitely see the grave. You will definitely see the regret of this dunya that you have so deep into it, right? And then until it will become yakin to you that what you have seen after that is what you have actually could do something about it. Yeah, you can reflect the beautiful surah. That which makes me, when I start working, having my career and so on, right, then you start to realize that time is actually so precious. So today we are actually miskin. We are miskin of time. We are actually poor, not in wealth, but we are poor in time, because time is running so fast, regardless whether what you are doing, it is actually, you know, it will not wait for you even a second. That includes death. Yeah. So yeah, Elaine, I think this session really made me reflect a lot being that 13 years ago. Yeah.
Sorry
But
for this
Alhamdulillah.
impromptu. I mean, it's very nice to chat with you, Dr. J, as in because it's very it's the way you bring up the story and you tell us your story is very natural. So somehow it just got into questions that I didn't think that I would ask you, but it's just so natural. Yeah, so yeah, it's been wow, really time flies. It's already 9:55.
Oh,
So
okay.
right. There's a lot of sharing. There's a lot of things. Myself, I have a lot of takeaway from your sharing. But just before we let you go, I would like to, on behalf again, on from our brothers and sisters audience, to ask you maybe one or two advice that you want to, from your point of view, how a new Muslim, what to do, any tips lah, when they become Muslim. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much. That's also a very good point putting here to the new Muslims, to those who are seeking Islam, to those who are seeking truth. Yeah. That's your journey. That's your journey. It's not going to be easy, I would say. It's not going to be easy, but take it this way. Not easy doesn't mean it is hard. Yeah. Yeah. Not easy doesn't mean it is hard. Tidak, how to say it? Yeah, if I translate into bahasa, how should I put it? Not easy, yeah. If it's not easy, kalau benda tu bukan senang, okay? Nak mengamal menjadi sebagai seorang Muslim tak mudah, tapi tak mudah bukan bererti dia susah. Yeah,
Doesn't
you
mean
just
that
need to make
it's
some effort.
right.
It
Just
comes
the
with
effort.
some effort.
Yep, correct.
Yeah. So my simple advice after many 13 years, after many 13 years and 10 years is this. Just be a good Muslim, I would say. People ask me, what is the best way to do da'wah? What is the best way to do da'wah? Brother J, you have been going here and there, doing this and that, empowering the community and all the activities you have done. Please give me just one tip, how to do a good da'wah. I would say I don't have any tips. The tips, I don't have to give you any tips. There is no secret about it. It is so just open. Just be a good Muslim. How? How to be a good Muslim? The tips and the guideline is already there. Take care of your prayers. Be kind to everyone. Take care of your salat. Yeah, take care of salat, take a shahada. And those 5 rukun iman, right? Rukun Islam, sorry. The 5 rukun Islam, the 6 rukun iman, and 1 ihsan. Take good care of it. You will be a good Muslim. By being a good Muslim, you will influence other Muslims to be a good Muslim as well. So imagine that we can have a more peaceful, and wonderful society. And that way, our new generations coming up with that kind of culture. I'm imagining that, yeah. Yeah. So that I would say my tips for all of you outside there listening.
MashaAllah, thank you so much. And just to add on, to new Muslims, add on to what Dr. J mentioned, right? So no need to be like super, like tiba-tiba last month upload Islam, and then like overnight they become like super good. So it's a journey. Like back to our topic today, our program name as in journey, right? So it's always a journey. Start with baby steps, and then as long you make progress, yeah, inshallah, and not like don't need to stress yourself as in like, oh, mesti dah pandai macam-macam, yeah, but of course make sure that it's progress lah. Yeah, so anyway, if any one of you need someone to speak to, at this program we've actually have all of us, most of us are actually reverts, who are on the program, so we have a lot of experience also may actually help new Muslims, and also some of you who are thinking of become a Muslim, you can always contact us. Yeah. So you want the Chinese one ada, Indian one ada. We also
Indian
have
one pun
like
ada.
Indian one pun ada, teh susu one and teh tarik one, or like chichong fan or don't know what lah, and all these. All right. So it's been nice talking to you, Dr. J. Thank you so much for spending your evening with us.
Thank you for
And
having me. Yeah.
let me just have a quick chat, see if there's any questions. But meanwhile, I would like to
Oh,
invite
yeah.
Haji Jamal, if you have anything you want to add on or ask while I check on questions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Haji Jamal, you have anything you
Yeah.
listen to?
Oh, no, I've been listening intently. I think it was very interesting. Thank you, Ellen, for bringing out the best from Brother J. And for me, I think what is important, sometimes it's not easy for us to imagine, for us born Muslims, to imagine the journey that you're going. My feeling is that from the years of observing and studying, I think what Elaine asked, why me and why not somebody else? It's because you're looking for the truth. You're looking for the way. You are actually asking. Your heart is asking, show me the truth. Show me the right way. So Allah will give you hidayah, I think. So we have to seek hidayah, and Allah will give, inshallah. It may not be today, tomorrow, and there'll be a lot of halangan along the way. I think that is one. The other one, I was mesmerized by the 10-year look. I think that's very important. We tend, Dr. J, most of us tend to look behind. We look behind, and then maybe we even look at the present, but we are not looking at the 5-10 years ahead. What is going to happen? What are we going to be? And we have to plan. And I like the term you were saying, that tak mudah, tapi it's not something that's impossible. You have to work with it. And finally, I think my personal experience is I've been about 15 to 18 years full-time in CSO, full-time volunteer. Before that, I was a corporate person, CEO of a company and all that. So being financially independent, I was moved into this of 18 years. And when you are in a coalition, you are in groups of persatuan, you have groups, organizations, coalitions, you can do way much than being an individual trying to do things. So it's a lot of strategic things. For example, now this morning we had a meeting, for example. We want to bring the knowledge, the vision, and the legacy of Malcolm X. So if individually I can't do it, but with EXIN, with the coalition, we are able to do it working with IAIS, International Advanced Institute Studies, and also maybe inviting the Prime Minister if possible to come, because this is one thing that he asked us for many years. So the point that I'm trying to make is, he suggested Exin do this about 4 years ago, and I'm doing it together with our team. So when you are in a team, you are in an organization, you can reach very far. So even when you are part-timer, half-timer or full-timer, you can work well. So work together and achieve the best, because in the Quran, Allah also states many times, Ya ayyuhan nas, wahai manusia. So the message is for all, Islam as rahmatan lil alamin. So thank you, Dr. Jaysuman. I think we hope to meet you one day for Teh Tarik.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Ramadan.
looking forward. Looking forward.
Inshallah. Thank you, Elaine. Fantastic moderation.
Thank you so
Moderating.
much, Haji
Thank you.
Jamal. Yeah, a very inspiring figure personally from me. I feel very proud of you, having you, Haji Jamal, leading Exin and just so many things. So I never see you stop, as in keep on doing. And indeed, you are one of the chosen one as well, that, having the courage and also willingness, leaving your corporate and then coming in here to do what you are doing now for consistently. I see you on the Facebook, is like, there are just so many activities, mashallah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right,
Thank you for doing
so-
that, brother.
Yeah, mashallah. Right, so thank you everyone. It's been a pleasant evening. We hope all our audience are still with us and enjoy the chit chat tonight. So we hope to see you again, inshallah, in our next month My Journey to Islam program. And we see you again. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Salam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks. 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 Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you to everyone.
Assalamualaikum. Thanks. Okay.